Hello friends, welcome to this YouTube video program. Friends, we are discussing about the major content points, major concept of different units of different courses of MA Education program of Indira Gandhi National Open University. We have already discussed MES-011, MES-012 and MES-016 course of the first year MA Education program. Presently, we are discussing the fourth course that is MES-014, that is Societal Context of Education. In this course, in block 1, 3 units are there, unit 1, 2 and 3. Already we have completed our discussion of block 1. Then now we are discussing the first unit, that is unit 4 of a block 2. Okay, block 2 is discussed about the perspectives of education, the economic and the political perspective of education. Unit 4 and 5 broadly it talks about the economic perspective of education, and unit 6 of block 2 that deals the political perspective of education. So here in unit 4, as we are discussing now, the concept of unit 4, the title of unit 4 is economics of education. And in this unit, the major content point that we have discussed in our first video program, that is the benefits of return to education, the rate of benefits or rate of return to education. Then further we have also discussed the measurement of return to education. And in this program, we will discuss the other three important content point of this unit, that is financing of education. Who does the finance for education, that we will discuss. Then cost and cost effectiveness of education. Okay, that also further we will discuss. Then the internal and external efficiency of education, which is related to economics of education, that also discussed in this point. So friends, now let us focus upon the financing of education. So what are the different agencies that engage for providing finance of education? So friends, when we talk about financing of education, certain things come to our mind. First of all, agencies of financing education. So when we talk about agencies, mostly our focus is upon the government, you can say. Okay, so you see in the Constitution of India, you will find that the education is the responsibility of the state. State means, you can say, it is the responsibility of the political system. It is the responsibility of the state administration of this country. Okay, you will find that certain points in Indian Constitution, so far as education is concerned, you will find it is in the state list, it is in the central list, and few things that is in the state list, and also you will find some other aspects that has been kept in the concurrent list of the Constitution. So that's why, friend, you will find when we talk about agencies of financing education, mostly our focus is upon the government system. It may be the central government or it may be the state government. Okay, so here you will find so far as the education committees and commissions are concerned, so far as the constitutional provisions of education is concerned in Indian Constitution, this is the responsibility of the state, that how to you can say implement the constitutional provisions and how to provide benefits to the children, to the countrymen, to the population of this country, so far as education is concerned. Maybe for school education, maybe for higher education, skill based education, education for the women, education for the weaker sections. Okay, so you will find many articles are there in our Constitution relating, addressing the issues of education. So that's why just like in NEP 2020, you will find that certain new things that has been implemented so far as school education, teacher education, higher education, and other focus areas of education are concerned. So further you will find that for implementing, for realizing the recommendations that has been given, the changes that has been made in NEP 2020, further this is the responsibility of this country, of the government, that how to implement. Okay, so how to bring the changes. Okay, the government will incur expenditure in this regard. Okay, and certain new schemes, new projects, new policies will be developed, then accordingly education will be imparted to the masses. So that's why you'll find that so far as the responsibility of the central government is concerned, you'll find that central government spend certain make certain budgetary provision, a substantial budgetary provision for education of the people. At the same time, the state government also, they keep certain budgetary provision in their state budget also, so far as education is concerned. At the same time, many places you will find, so far as school education and other sector of education is concerned, both central government and state governments, they provide a certain percentage for education. Okay, so that's why both the central and state governments are the active agency that finance for education of this country. Then second, we can discuss that financing of education by the parents. You see, so far as the private education is concerned, the private schooling and private higher education is concerned, you will find that parents also incurred certain expenditure of their children, okay, of their son and daughter, for their education, okay, for their tuition fees, for their you can say for their books, for their other requirements in education, they also incurred certain money. So this is also means first government is the first agency, government does the financing, then further parents also finance education for their children. Okay, so this is the responsibility of the parents. Then third, we can say financing of education by the employers. You see friends, for you can say bringing efficiency among the employees so far as education is concerned, you will find that many a time employers, they also develop good infrastructure, quality infrastructure in their offices, in their institutions, in their organization. Okay, maybe a lab, maybe a very high standard, world standard lab, world standard research organization, research institutions, okay, for research and development of the employees, of the faculty. And you will also find that so far as the efficiency, for increasing efficiency of the employees, the employers also provide scope to the employees for their professional development. Okay, so they also organize certain professional development program, and many a time you will find that they also send their employees to other institutions, other organizations, at national level, at state level, at the same time at international level also. Means they will go there, they will stay there, and they will learn certain new skills, new competencies, and further they will apply it in their job. Okay, so that also means directly and indirectly, that is the productivity of the employer, of the organizations, that will increase. So that's why you can say financing of education by the employers. So here three important agencies that we have discussed. First agency is the the government, both the central and state government, and second agency is the parents. Okay, so they finance for the education of their children. And the third agency, that is the employer, for developing or for improving work efficiency, for you can say work efficiency, and you can say for developing competency, and acquainting the employees about the changes, about the development of science and technologies, development in different aspects of job, you will find that they provide certain professional, they organize certain professional development programs. At the same time, they also allow their employees, they also finance to their employees for gaining skills and competencies from other organizations. Okay, so that's why your employer are also provide certain finance. So financing of education by employers. So this is three agencies, they actively finance for the education in this country. Then further, when we talk about the cost and cost effectiveness of education, so we can say that this may be in different types. So first is the current and capital cost of education. Current cost of education, that we can say that if we concerned about a school, about any institutions, any organizations, you will find that the organizations or the department provide salary to the employees. So particularly when we talk about school, you will find that the school provides salary to the employees, to the staffs. Okay, so providing salary to the staffs and employees, you can say this is a current expenditure. And friends, when we talk about the capital cost of education, it means this is a long-term investment. That means for developing the infrastructure, developing the building, developing the lab. So you will find that the investment that has been made, the capital investment that are used for the institution is not for short term, that is for long term. Means if you develop the infrastructure, develop the lab, libraries and other infrastructure in the school, that may be for decades. Okay, so many a time you will find that the school is running for 50 years, for 100 years. So that's why the infrastructure that has been developed, that is not a current expenditure, current cost, rather you can say that is a capital cost. Then further we can say, so far as the cost is concerned, it may be a direct cost or it may be an indirect cost. Okay, so let us try to understand that what is the direct cost. So here direct cost means the expenditure or the investment that has been made so far as tuition fees of the student is concerned, book is concerned, additional cost of hostel is concerned, boarding is concerned, school uniform, clothing, transportation. Okay, these are the certain things that directly you have to invest, directly you have to give certain money for that. Okay, so it may be school, it may be other institutions. So such expenditure are incurred directly in the institution. And many a time you will find that certain indirect expenditure that also made. So let us try to understand that what is indirect your expenditure. So friends, unlike the direct cost, the indirect cost of education are implicit rather than explicit. The direct cost of education consists of cost of earning foregone by the students. The students, instead of you can say enrolling and attending school or colleges, could have taken up a job and made some income from that. So many a time you must have observed that when the students are engaged in their studies, at the same time they also do certain part-time work. They do certain part-time engagement for earning certain money. So here also you can consider that foregone engagement of the students for earning certain money and further to use that money in their education. That is also, you can say, type of indirect cost. Then further we can the another type of cost that we can say the private cost of education. So let us try to understand that what is the private cost of education. So many a time you will find that the school tuition fees and the other expenditures, being a parent, you are incurred such expenditure for your children. But the private cost includes all expenditure incurred by the students or parents to meet, just like the tuition cost, the non-tuition cost and the earning foregone. Okay, so here you will find that while estimating the tuition cost paid by the students, normally we deduct from the fees paid, financial aids or scholarship, etc. Okay. So apart from the cost that we incurred in their education directly, many a time you will find that because of the expectation that for providing better facilities to your children, you also go for many other types of expenditure. Okay, certain extra treatment, okay, extra facilities to your children. So you can say that that is a type of private cost of education. Then further another type that we can say that's called as the social cost of education. Social cost of education is sum total of the private and institutional cost of education. Okay, the private cost consists of net tuition cost, non-tuition cost. Okay, the institutional cost consists of both the current or operating cost of capital cost of education borne by the schools or the society. So here, when we sum total these two type of private cost and the institutional cost, we can say that is the sum, that is the social cost of education. Then further another important point that is called as the unit cost of education. So let us try to understand that what is the unit cost of education. Unit cost of education means the expenditure or the cost per student. Let in a school 2000 students they have enrolled, okay, for in their schooling, and what is the expenditure in a year so far as the school is concerned. So it includes the salary of the teacher, salary of the staff, it includes the infrastructure, it includes the lab facilities, it includes the books and other sanitary other sanitation and transportation, everything will be included. Then that will be divided with the number of students. Then you can say, you can just statistically calculate that what is the unit cost of each and every student, unit cost of in schooling, unit cost of in government schooling, unit cost in private schooling. You will find that unit cost in government schooling and private schooling is more or less same. Though it is not visible that it seems that in government unit cost is less and in private unit cost is high. It is not like that. So far as government school and government institutions are concerned, you will find that government, the particular government, maybe the central government, maybe the state government, they spend a lot in the school system, in the higher education system, in research also. Okay, so when you will calculate the unit cost of the students, so the government aid or the government financial aid that has been given to the institution will also be considered. At the same time, other expenditure that made in education, that also be considered, and it will be calculated with the total number of students getting benefits of it. And private school, the parents the tuition fees which is given by the parents, then other expenditure made by the school, so everything will be it will be added, and the unit cost will be calculated. So this is the concept of you can say the unit cost of education. We can calculate the unit cost of education. Then further another important content point that has been discussed in this unit, that is the internal and external efficiency of education. So friends, try to understand that what is internal efficiency of education and what is external efficiency of education. When you talk about internal efficiency of education, it means the facilities that we provide in our institution, maybe school or any higher education institutions. So we have to observe, we have to analyze what type of facilities we provide. So far as the quality facilities are concerned, you can say the quality infrastructure in the school, equipment that has been that are used for doing the practical work, for conducting the experiment. You can say the salary, what salary we are providing to our teachers, what salary we are providing to our employee. Okay, what type of library facilities we are providing. Okay, it means what is the pupil teacher ratio in the school, what is the computer and student ratio in the school. So friends, all such things, what is the classroom and student ratio in the school. Okay, so here when we talk about internal efficiency of education, so it includes the quality apparatus, quality human resources, and quality parameters that we maintain for providing education in our school. Then friends, when we talk about external efficiency of education, it means after getting education, what is the product of this system? Okay, the students after completion of the education, so what responsibility they are taking for the society? Okay, so what type of work they are doing for the world, for the country, at national level, at the state level, whether they prove themselves that they are the productive citizen of this society, productive citizen of this country, whether they are doing after a true education, whether they are able to do certain significant work in their life or not. So that's why, friend, we can say this is the external efficiency of education. Okay. Definitely the product of a system cannot be neglected, cannot be ignored. So we discussed about the cost, different types of cost that incurred in education, and we have also discussed the agencies, agencies of different agencies of education so far as financing is concerned, just like the government, parents, at the same time the employer. And we have also discussed the internal as well as external efficiency of education. So friends, this is one of the very important unit so far as economics of education is concerned. So I think both the programs will help you to understand this unit. At the same time, the content is in your hand, the unit is in your hand. Please go through the unit, at the same time watch these two videos, and definitely you can understand the complex things that has been discussed in this unit. Thank you.